it was put there for them. And what they used it for is they did their hunting, gathering acorns and crops is all seasonal. So when you count the moons, well, it's not, it gets off. So they would have something like this and they would calibrate. So they got the 4 seasons so they would know, approximately how much longer before the deer come through, before the acorns are ready. But they saw that as a spiritual sign when they saw that crack that only aligned up on that date. And this obviously been found in several places in California. And they all have spiritual significance for the Indians. So I wanted to read something here. It's a real short paragraph. There's a gal named Kat Anderson, done a lot of study on Native American knowledge, and she's also an expert on the management of our resources, on the and how the Indians took care of things. And so you've probably heard when I'm going to go blank on his name. It came in. Gordon, who started Sierra Club?
John Muir.
John Muir, okay. When John Muir came in, he did a very good job of recording what he found. But what he saw was a still picture in time. So he saw what he saw at that moment without looking at what may have been done the year before, 100 years, 1,000 years before. And so he missed something. And he corrected it later in his life. But his followers do not acknowledge his correction. And part of that is trying to preserve everything the way they saw it at that time. But there's something here I think that's really neat that gives some credence to the way the Indians took care of their environment. It says, much of what we consider wilderness today was in fact shaped by Indian burning, harvesting, tilling, pruning, sowing, and tending. The facts suggest an alternative way to conserve the lands that have so far largely evaded the impact of modern society. Manage them by applying the traditional ecological knowledge and traditional resource management practices of the California's indigenous peoples. Although setting aside areas as wilderness is still absolutely necessary given our population numbers, there are compelling reasons to protect, restore, and manage wild lands by following a model other than the hands-off wilderness model under what could be called the indigenous management model. And so I don't want to get off on the politic things. It's not where I'm headed. It's just they've been here a long time, probably thousands of years, and they learned a lot about this land and how to live in it, preserve it, and maintain it. And I think we've missed an awful lot by not looking back and learning from it. Any questions? Yes?
So, since there isn't a lot of knowledge about who was here at the time, who do you suggest were the people who created these sites or lived in the area that all these pictures were from?
Well, we know the Yokut Indians were here shortly before us. And there's good reason to believe that there's this group that left and came back a couple of times.